Kundi Kelvin, KTN News.
Meanwhile, the Kenya Kwanza administration has maintained its focus on strengthening and equipping the country's security apparatus, with this year's budget exhibiting a significant rise from the previous year. For the umpteenth time, security was among the big winners, receiving a lion's share, coming only third after education and infrastructure at 377 billion. But will the giant allocation translate into better days for the men in blue? Here's KTN's senior reporter, Francis Otomo, with more.
In a world where security threats are ever evolving, these men and women are forced to confront enormous security challenges. But on most occasions, they remain steadfast even while on the front lines. Today's budget by the Kenya Kwanza administration appeared to place a badge of honor to these officers.
There's an evolution of crime. Crime is nowadays migrating from that physical involvement to cyber security and artificial intelligence type of crime. And that requires us to really modernize and expand our capabilities and abilities in terms of preparedness, in terms of responding, and in terms of mitigating and being able to get back to our functionality.
A close scrutiny of the 2023-2024 budget reveals that the security docket received an extra 39 billion shillings from the previous budget and the third highest overall allocation after education and infrastructure at 377 billion shillings. And this is how the Treasury proposes to share the funds. The Ministry of Defence will get the lion's share of 173.1 billion shillings. The National Police Service will get 110.6 billion shillings. And at position 3 is the National Intelligence Service NIS, which will get 46.3 billion shillings. The State Department for Correctional Services will receive 32.7 billion shillings, while 13.9 billion shillings will go into leasing police motor vehicles and modernization programs. To step up the war on crime and modernize the forensic laboratory, the CS proposed an allocation of 918.4 million shillings.
So it is better, it is advisable, it is in tandem with responding to risks that we advance our weaponry, we advance our equipment, we advance our training, and we advance our capabilities in line with the days that are there, in line with the changes in crimes and international risks that are manifesting themselves in us. And this will dictate a lot the need for us to continually have that advancement of weapons in our infrastructure.
The National Task Force on Police Reforms, chaired by former Chief Justice David Maraga, proposed an increase in the police officers' salaries by 40% in the next 3 years and improve their welfare. The Maraga Task Force established that in many places across the country, the living conditions for police officers was dehumanizing, thus undermining their morale and ability to deliver quality services.
We have now committed our country to international duties. That requires us to really prepare our boots on the ground in terms of training, in terms of weaponry, and in terms of support.
But with giant allocation comes giant expectations. Observers will be keen to see how the implementation process pans out and whether the promise to modernize the country's security apparatus will be honored or not. Francis Otomo, KTN News, Nairobi.
Now let's cross borders in Uganda.